You ready? Let's train. Not physically, mentally, of course. This week, we're sparring with self-doubt because if you're honest, self-doubt shows up before almost everything meaningful you try to do, doesn't it? Before the post, before the conversation, before the leap, before the next level, before the start of the race, before the start of the game, before the start of the new venture, before the start, period. And it's probably the main reason most people never start. That and fear, because fear and doubt are basically partners in crime. I call them cousins. Doubt is arguably one of our fiercest and our sneakiest opponents. And I'll get to the sneaky part in a minute, but here's the deal. Most people don't spar with it. They retreat. They hesitate. They negotiate. They shrink. They stop before they even start. But in mental martial arts, we don't avoid resistance. We don't do it in real martial arts, and we don't do it in mental martial arts. We train through it because here's the truth that most people miss. Self-doubt is not a signal to stop. It's a signal that you're standing on the edge of growth. If you never feel doubt, you're not expanding. You're repeating. And repetition without intention is just comfort in disguise. It's disguised as discipline, but it's not discipline, is it? Let's get clear about the opponent. Self-doubt is not logic. It sounds logical, but really it's emotional memory wearing a suit. It says things like, what if I fail? What if I look stupid? What if I'm not ready yet? What if I get it wrong? Do you notice something? Self-doubt never speaks in facts, only futures that basically haven't happened yet. I'm going to say that again. Self-doubt never speaks in facts, only in futures that haven't happened yet. It's shadow boxing with imagined outcomes. It wants you to lean into the question, what if this happens? What if? I want you to lean into the question, what if it doesn't happen? What if my imagination is wrong? Hold that space, because here's the sneaky side of doubt that I hinted at. Doubt actually lets you off the hook. When what you imagined happens, it gives you permission to not bring your best because, hey, you doubt you could be successful. You doubted it to begin with. And when you actually do fail, you get to say, I knew it all along. I knew I couldn't do it. I knew it wasn't going to work. And now, guess what? You get to be right. That's letting you off the hook. And your being right is fulfilling a deep human urge. We all have the need to be right. But that's letting you off the hook. That is sneaky stuff. So here's the thing. And the first principle that I want you to kind of catch. You don't eliminate self-doubt. You learn to move with it. In the dojo, we don't wait until fear disappears to step on the mat. We bow, we breathe, we begin. Self-doubt can be present, and you can still act with precision. Courage is not confidence. Courage is movement in the presence of doubt. Think of doubt like a sparring partner. If you tense up, it controls you. If you freeze, it scores points. But when you stay relaxed, centered, aware, like a master would, you start to see the openings. So there's a second principle that attaches to that one. Self-doubt attacks your identity, not your ability. Let me say that again. That's the principle I want you to catch. Self-doubt attacks your identity, not your ability. It doesn't say, you can't do this. It says, who do you think you are? That's identity. That's a psychological strike. Because when identity wavers, action collapses. Efforts weaken. So instead of defending your worth, you anchor to your practice. I don't need to know who I'll become. I only need to know what I train today. And what I train today is that there is no failure, only feedback. Failures, setbacks, and doubts do not determine my identity. I do. Me. Who I am is not what other people think or say. It's what I say. And I say failure is a learning event that only adds to who I am. The same with success. Either way, I'm stronger, I'm smarter, I'm better for doing the effort. When self-doubt shows up, don't argue with it, don't analyze it, label it. Say out loud, if you can, this is self-doubt. That's it. No story, no drama. Because once named, it loses its invisibility. And what's visible is trainable. Next, shift from outcome to execution. What do I mean? Self-doubt lives in outcomes. Training lives in actions, present actions. So ask yourself, what is the next clean rep I can do? Not the whole plan, not the perfect version, just the next rep, the next move. One email, one paragraph, one conversation, one breath, one focus point, one action. Why? Because momentum defeats doubt faster than motivation ever will. So you need momentum. Now let's go deeper and talk about your nervous system for a second. Self-doubt is often a nervous system response, not a mindset flaw. Your body senses uncertainty and it tries to protect you. And that's not weakness, it's biology. So instead of fighting your body, learn to regulate it. Slow your breath, lower your shoulders, unclench your jaw, calm body, calm mind, clean movement. That's real power. And realize this, doubt is not actually an enemy. Like fear keeps you from jumping off of a building, it's necessary. Listen, if you were the CEO of a company, launching a new product or a new campaign of some sort, you would have all of your advisors into the conference room sitting at the table. And one of them would be the person who doubts, because that person will tell you all the things that could go wrong, all the areas of concern, and the things you should be concerned about. See, that's doubt's job. And as a CEO, you would thank that doubter. But you would make the decision to proceed anyway when it's important, right? That's the CEO's job. You see, you don't need belief to act. You need commitment to train. Belief often comes after movement. So confidence is a reward. It's not a prerequisite. Every disciplined action you take teaches your nervous system, I can handle this. That's self-trust. And that's how self-trust is forged. And one more thing. Self-doubt feeds on your fear of failure. So let's reframe failure properly. Failure is not a verdict. In martial arts, getting hit is not a failure. It's information. Where were you open? Where were you tense? Where did you hesitate? That's information you can use. And that's how skill sharpens in the dojo or anywhere else. Remember, I said there's no such thing as failure, only feedback. And that's true. So this week, don't try to silence self-doubt. Spar with it. Stay relaxed, stay aware, take clean reps, train anyway. Because the mind you train determines the life you live. And today, you trained. So congratulations for stepping on the mat with me, and thank you. I hope this video served you. If it did help you, subscribe. Train with me here every week. And remember, no mercy on excuses, but compassion in training. I'll see you on the mat.